You're about to see an event worthy of a national championship. 2 of the top 4 teams in the nation will go head-to-head in SEC Gymnastics next. One of the great rivalries in sports, Florida versus Georgia. The #1 ranked Gators feel this could be their best team in school history. They're led by sophomores Ajane Dickerson along with Marissa King, as well as freshman phenoms Mackenzie Kakwado and Elena Johnson. The Gym Dogs are winners of 10 national titles and are currently #4 in the nation. They will look to All-American Cassidy McComb, standout freshman Lindsey Cheek, along with sophomores Nicole Couch and Shayla Worley. Florida versus Georgia next. You're watching SEC Gymnastics on ESPN. We're in sold-out Stegman Coliseum, where we're expecting, about 10,000 fans here to cheer on the #4 ranked Gym Dogs, hosting the #1 team in the country, the Florida Gators. And hello, everyone. Sam Gore, honored to be alongside 2 legends of the sport, Olympic medalist Kathy Johnson-Clark, as well as former coach here at Georgia, Suzanne Yocklin, who won 10 national titles. And Suzanne, go ahead and take us through this Florida-Georgia rivalry.
Well, on this campus, Sam, when Florida comes to town, it's huge, no matter what sport you love. Tonight will be no different as these 2 teams take the floor in this dual meet matchup. You are sure to see the best from both teams. Just last week, University of Florida took on Alabama at home, and Coach Rhonda Fain and her team did not disappoint anyone as they posted the highest score in the country. But the Florida Gators have had 4 of their last 5 meets at home and have not yet had to face the challenges of being on the road. And tonight, it will be in front of a sellout arena. The University of Georgia, on the other hand, had a disappointing loss last week to Arkansas. Coach Jay Clark is fired up. We had an opportunity to talk with him today, and he said their team has nothing to lose as the underdog. He is tired of hearing about Florida, and his team wants to make a statement.
Well, Kathy, I want to turn to you now because women's college gymnastics is a very interesting dynamic.
It's all about team, team, team. Every lineup decision, every routine composition decision is made with the team score in mind. That said, there are definitely standouts that are so critical to the team score. Georgia relies very heavily on Cassidy McComb and Noelle Couch. They have been competing all 4 events, meet after meet, have stepped into a very pressurized situation, handling it very well, covering for some injured gymnasts. Speaking of injury, Shayla Worley, they're going to get her back in the lineup in 3 events, and she is absolutely gorgeous. But she is made of glass. Those ankles, her back, she really has to take care of her body to last through the whole season. Now, when you think about Florida, they have so much depth on every single event, but you cannot overlook their sophomores. They are a dynamic duo. Ajane Dickerson and Marissa King are capable of big gymnastics and gigantic scores, but the freshmen are still a huge story. They have come on so strong. Elena Johnson and Mackenzie Kakwado are scoring gigantic on every single event. Gorgeous lines, a lot of international experience. It makes for an exciting competition.
All right, ladies, let's get this started. #1 Florida versus #4 Georgia. Noelle Couch, the sophomore from New Jersey. A pre-med major. One day he's going to be a doctor.
Noelle is such a disciplined athlete, trains so hard. Plays off with a huge landing.
And she sticks it almost every week. She really knows where that floor is. She can find a landing.
Suzanne, that's really something that fires up a team when you get a landing like that.
She comes off that table, and she spots that landing. She can see exactly where it is and nails it.
Prior to that, Ellis's bars routine got a 9.825. Here's Ajane Dickerson, one of the most talented gymnasts in the country.
And another extremely hard worker. Coach Rhonda Fain said, I wish I could have 20 Ajane Dickersons. Completely focused on her routine. You watch her, she closes her eyes, she concentrates on every element. She starts off strong on this event. Huge combination at the beginning. Watch how big this release move is.
And watch how she does this release move. Last week, she actually caught a little close to the bar.
She missed it in 30-second warm-up before she was right on there.
So she was trying to compensate a little bit. Still a little close to the bar, but very difficult release.
One thing you can see she's going hard for is hitting these handstand positions. She has few little form deduction. She's working really hard to clean those up. Great dismount. Wow, that was huge.
I loved how the double layout was straight body through both flips.
She just does big gymnastics. Focusing on cleaning up, but...
So we're underway between number 1 Florida and number 4 Georgia. The Gators this season have had tremendous contributions from their freshmen led by Mackenzie Caquano. Here's more on Mackenzie from our Student Campus Connection reporter, Melanie Boudreau.
While the Florida Gator gymnastics team shares the nation's lead with 5 returning All-Americans, it isn't just the veterans who are stepping up. Instead, it's a freshman duo who are proving themselves as top competitors.
I love the team and the cheering and just like having fun out there. It's a lot different, and just competing with the fans behind us and the crowd. I mean, they get into it so much as we do almost, so it just makes it so much more fun. When you're out on the floor and having the team behind you and cheering for you just gives yourself more confidence in your routines and your skills, and knowing that they believe in you, also yourself believing in you. So it's just a little extra confidence booster in myself, and just easier to get through the routines when everyone's cheering for you and everyone's happy that you're on the team.
For ESPNU Campus Connection, I'm Melanie Boudreau.
Well, I could not wait to see this young lady compete. Here is Lindsay Cheek, one of the great stories of the season so far in NCAA gymnastics. Just a freshman from nearby Watkinsville.
Grew up right around here, always wanted to be a gym dog, and here she is. Oh, back to the landing.
She did. You know, she was thinking about the stick a little too much, and it made her stall. Sometimes you just have to set that direction, and you have to hope that the stick is there. But when you over-focus on it, you come in just a tad short, which is what happened here to Lindsay, because she had the pop and the rise.
And as you know, Suzanne, it comes with experience. You've got to be in this position over and over to really figure it out. But she's exciting to watch.
Elizabeth Malish, who's 21st in the nation in this event. Marielle Box got a 9.775 a moment ago, and Alicia Goodwin was a 9.875 on the bar.
We'll see a little interesting twist to this routine. She does some nice stalder work right here. You don't see that quite as often in collegiate gymnastics. Wow, I thought she was going to be a little far.
She came out of the stalder a little late, so I thought she was going to be in trouble too, but she knew where the bar was. Coach Rhonda Fain says she's putting in the lineup the gymnast that can stick the most dismounts.
There you go.
She stuck it.
And that's why she's in that lineup. That's the last thing the judge sees is the dismount. So going for the stick is a really, really, really important thing in determining your lineup.
And most of these coaches and the gymnasts know they fight for their position in that lineup all during the week.
Lindsay Cheek got a 9.825. This is Cassidy McComb, senior from Henderson, Nevada, former SEC Freshman of the Year.
And she has stepped into a leadership role this year, competing all 4 events. Oh, couldn't quite come up with the stuck landing.
I love that vault, though, because her chest was up. She wasn't thinking about the stick. Even though she takes a little step on the landing, see how her body is completely straight. She stays straight.
Even flares the arms out to the side before she comes in for the landing.
Beautiful vault.
And guys, earlier, Elizabeth Malish had a 9.9 on her bars routine.
That stick does pay off.
Mackenzie Caquano, we featured her in the Open. She's ranked number 1 in the nation overall. On the vault, number 18 as a freshman.
And Mackenzie has a lot of experience, international experience on this event. Led off for the U.S. team at the World Championships on this event. They won a silver medal. She has just such nice technique.
I love the fact that she has more than she needs in terms of bonus. She's really going for the difficulty. Even though she can't benefit by a higher score, she doesn't.
That is a luxury. A full twist and double back dismount. But of course, the judges will see that little step. It's the tricky thing about collegiate gymnastics. You can do more difficulty. but sometimes it doesn't pay off. You have to do the things you can stick well every single time.
Up next for Georgia, Hillary Morrow, senior from Boston. She's been held out of floor the last 2 weeks because of a sore Achilles tendon. Let's see how it affects her on the vault.
It's impossible to not get excited knowing she's going to do a different vault than everybody else. A 1.5 twist.
Nicely done.
Nice in the air. Of course, she had to take the hop a little bit off center.
Much better than the last time I saw it. She had a lot more amplitude on the vault. See the rise off the table. Little bent knees on the second part of the twist and off to the side, as you said.
The SEC's defending champion on the vault. Couple of scores. Cassidy McComb got a 9.875. Kaquato had a 9.85. Here's Elena Johnson for Florida.
And I like this gymnast. She has an ease to her gymnastics. It just makes it so easy to watch. She's smooth. She has elegant lines. But she's also deceivingly strong and has a lot of difficulty in all her routines.
She does this release move, the same one that Ajane did earlier tonight. Toe on, toe off, reverse hat. Look how beautiful that was. Way above the bar.
Smooth, hits the handstand, stole the work as well. She's got a nice combination of skills. She stayed a little bit piked on that handstand to the low bar, but minor little things.
If she can stick this dismount, this will be a big score.
There it is.
Johnson's been freshman of the week 3 out of 5 of the weeks. Look at this dismount, rise above the bar. Perfect.
Florida #1 in the nation in this event overall. When we come back, Florida will transition to the vault. Georgia will be on the bars. Welcome back to sold-out Stegman Coliseum, Georgia, with its second highest vault routine of the season, of course, led by Cassidy McComb's 9.875. Florida, #1 in the nation on the uneven bars, second highest bars routine of the season, and Elena Johnson ended that rotation with a 9.975. So overall, after the first rotation, Florida has a slight lead. And now let's go down to the floor. Suzanne Yacklin is standing by with the most decorated college gymnast of all time, Courtney Kupets.
Thanks, Sam. Courtney, the last time you were in Stegman Coliseum competing against the Gators, you posted a perfect 10 on the floor exercise. Do you remember that night, and what was it like?
Now that you mention it, yeah, I mean, floor is one of those that it's really hard to get that perfect 10, you know, any slight movement. And when you compete against Florida, you just have so much energy anyway because of the atmosphere of the meet. So to get a 10 during that meet, you know, it makes sense.
Absolutely, that rivalry got you going then.
It really did. I mean, Florida for Georgia, any sport at Georgia, Florida is, you want to beat them. I mean, you just do. And you go around campus all day and they ask you, who are you competing against tonight? And you're like, Florida, like, you're going to beat them, right? Like, that's the first thing they want to say. So, of course we do.
Well, thank you, Courtney. Have a great alumni weekend.
All right, thanks a lot, Suzanne. These fans loving seeing Courtney Kupets here in Stegman Coliseum again. And now Krista Tanella for Georgia, the recipient of the Suzanne Yacklin Scholarship.
And I'm so, whoa, I was just about to say she's so much more consistent.
She should have jumped off the bar.
Yes. Oh, my goodness.
That would just be a couple tenths deduction. She missed her hand on the mount.
And then missed the handstand.
Right.
Oh.
One thing led to the next after that. She's really recovered nicely. It'll be interesting to see if she can hit the end of the routine because she may be a little tired because it's a lot longer than normal. Nice giant full pirouette on top of the bar.
Oh, too bad, because the rest of the routine, she did recover well. Right off the bat, right here. Hand just misses the bar. She can't push off, and then she has to work so hard to get the routine going. Nice, clean, tuck double back. It was in combination, which made it even better.
Ellis led things off with a 9.825 for Florida on the vault. Here's Mackenzie Kaquato.
Now this is an interesting vault because Mackenzie's capable of doing a double twist, so she launches this vault but hasn't quite put the finishing touches on. A little bit better. She's got a nice position in the air, but like a pogo stick on the landing, unfortunately.
I think she could flare her arms out a little bit earlier to slow it down a tad, and then she might find that landing.
That will just take time, Suzanne. She's used to adding another twist there. She's opening it up wide, but can't quite zero in on this landing.
Open now.
Yep, just a little sooner.
Tanella had a 9.575 for Georgia to lead things off. Here's Noelle Couch.
There's a lot of pressure on this athlete. She fell on the bars in the last two competitions with that problem from Krista Tanella first up. Now there's some pressure on Noelle.
And then Suzanne, all week long, she had no trouble with the dismount, but missed it in the warm-up. So a little bit of a pressure moment here. Oh, no, except not on that skill.
I hope we didn't jinx her.
See, unfortunately, though she is such a rocking competition, this is an event she did not compete much on last year, if at all. She was not needed in the bar lineup, so this is new. And even if you're hitting your routines in practice, it's a different bird altogether.
You know, it's just a disappointment for the team and Coach Clark. They haven't had a complete meet at all this year, and that's really what they were looking for tonight. Let's hit a complete meet.
They're going to count a missed routine. But she pulls off the dismount. Yes. That's the little victory there, is hitting the dismount, something she was worried about. I really thought she had that skill.
She was up there. I mean, she was above the bar, ready to grab. She's got to get those grips up over. Dismount was nice.
So we'll see if the Gym Dogs can recover. We'll be back to Stegman Coliseum. Miranda Smith leading things off now for Florida, the senior from California.
And boy, did she pull off a gigantic vault in the last competition we saw her in. A 9.95, just nailed it cold. This one was good. Wow.
Did you see her flare her arms? She flared those arms out to the side, stopped that rotation, and she was able to nail it cold.
The other thing adding this mat does, though, it takes away a little bit from the height and the dynamics of the vault. It's really up there. Her head is still level with the horse when she opens those arms out and goes for the landing.
Number 9 in the nation in that event, Gina Nuccio. If you wanted someone to pick up your team, this is the young lady to do it. Tough as nails junior from Naperville, Illinois. Come on, Gene.
Gina's ranked number 3 in the country on the uneven bars.
And I'm sure she knows what she needs to do. Obviously, she's got to hit this routine, but they've got to rally this team forward from this point on. They're going to have to count the ball.
Well, they have to count Tanella's 9.575. Hopefully they won't have another major break. It's really key for Gina to get this Ginger way up so she can connect. And she did.
Nice routine. Great landing on a difficult dismount. The nice thing is to see someone handle this kind of pressure, come up with the routine they needed when they needed it, because they will have to count a missed routine. But they can rally on this right here. That's tough.
The score earlier for Couch was 9.225. Miranda Smith had a 9.9 on the vault for Florida. And here's Ajane Dickerson's turn.
Now watch this vault. She can blast it up in the air.
First team All-American last year in this event.
Look for height up there. Chest up.
Yeah, the chest was down, but
just a little
they
down.
will take that deduction for that chest being down.
If she didn't have that mat in there, I'm telling you, it would have been the other. But it's a long season. These ankles, these knees, they have to last through the season. These are hard, hard landings.
And a lot of coaches feel like it helps you to stick when you can land on that mat. Watch how she digs her toes into the mat on the landing, and that helps her to stick it.
Well, she's an artist when it comes to sticking. She can really attack them.
Nuccio had a 9.875 earlier. Here's Cassidy McComb.
Struggling just a little to hit those handstands.
It's overall, it's a nice routine, but the judges are really scoring this meet tight. They know there's great gymnastics, and they want to differentiate between the athletes.
Dickerson got it back. Just the one little scoot of the leg on the landing.
That was probably just a half a tenth. That was a good routine for Georgia.
They're coming back. These are the athletes they count on, coming up with a good routine and a solid landing.
Prior to Elena Johnson, Dickerson had a 9-9, and now Elena Johnson, the freshman from Tyler, Texas, is fourth in the nation on the vault.
This is a really pretty vault. Very beautiful.
Oh, it's just so straight all the way through to the end. She does not bend. She just holds that position throughout the vault, and that's really what you're looking for.
Tight and elegant at the same time. Unique combination, a very pretty form.
Beautiful. This Florida team is so athletic, so strong, and you can really see it on the vaulting and floor exercise events.
McComb earlier on the bars had a 9-9. Here's Shayla Worley, sophomore from Orlando.
And Shayla is capable of a gigantic score on this event. Beautiful execution, nice difficulty. Oh, what a great combination.
So far, so good. She's hitting all those handstand positions. She has to do a giant full pirouette right now, and sometimes it's not on top of the bar. When she finishes the turn, she should be on top. Close.
Not bad. New dismount floor double layout. Well done. Suzanne, they're definitely getting back on track.
I'm really impressed with what they've done so far with those problems at the beginning of the lineup. They're holding on and fighting for every single tenth.
Resilient. No matter what, just keep moving forward. Get back on track.
Here's the Olympian Marissa King from Great Britain.
Boy, this is an exciting vault. I don't think people really appreciate how difficult this vault is. Notice she's not going to do a round-off entry vault, which really generates power sometimes that an athlete doesn't have. She generates her own traditional entry. Sukahar, 1.5 twist.
You know, she never showed control on that landing before she turned to those judges, and they pound that in your head. Finish the landing, salute before you turn. Watch the landing. It's just a small hop. It's great vault, small hop, but then she turns real quick and never shows control.
Yep, they'll take that deduction, but hopefully they can appreciate the difficulty of the vault, even though it's still only worth a 10 like all the other vaults.
Kat Ding up next for Georgia following Worley's 9.925 on this event.
I love this gymnast on this event.
Oh, I think she's just fabulous. She has great handstands. She loves to compete. She's a tiger. She just, she knows when a meet is close. She knows when she has to deliver. She's one of the few gymnasts that follows the scores of the competition because she loves the emotion of the competition. And if any time there was emotion, it's right now.
And boy, don't they want her back in the lineup in vault and floor.
They need her
from
there.
an injury. They do need her.
Another double layout.
Coming up big here.
There it is. Tell you what, Kat Ding, Gina Nuccio, they got that fight in them. You can see it on her face. She is sticking it. No one's going to take that away from her. Look at her. Tiger. I love it.
Oh, a great way to end that rotation for Georgia. When we come back, we'll head into the third rotation, beam and floor. Well, we finished our first two rotations, and for Florida, 3 straight 9-9s there in the third, fourth, and fifth. Smith, Dickerson, and Johnson. And for Georgia, its highest team score on the bars this season. Well, despite their enthusiasm, the Gators are leading this meet by 4/10. And ladies, we're about to see the beam and the floor, and these are two of the top teams in the nation in these categories.
Okay, it's a little hard to be serious after that, but this is a great event for Georgia. They're ranked second in the country on this event, so an opportunity here for them. But Florida is over on the floor exercise, a gigantic opportunity for them. They are perhaps the best we've seen on floor exercise.
You know, Kathy, I looked back at some of our earlier teams at Georgia back in the 90s and also in the early 2000s, and this very well may be the best women's collegiate gymnastics team on floor exercise I have ever seen in the country in terms of difficulty. They do it all. Unfortunately, Marissa will not be competing tonight. Marissa Smith-King will not be competing tonight, so we won't get to see her. But overall, they do have the most difficulty in the country.
Chance here for Noelle to really redeem herself. Tough situation over on the uneven bars. Had that miss. And she has been counted on so heavily and done really a great job stepping into such a pressure situation where they need her on every single event, every meet out, week after week.
Well, you have to remember, she did not compete nearly this much last year when Georgia had McCool and Grace Taylor competing on beam and bars. So Noelle is competing a lot, almost a freshman. She's a little inexperienced, and she's doing quite well, having to be relied on every week.
She had her season high of 9.825 in the last meet against Arkansas on the beam.
She's definitely had some bright moments this season, and here's another one. Stronger team on beam.
Especially coming back after the fall on bars. I always love it when an athlete can regroup, stay in their bubble, which seems to be the theme of the year for most of the teams.
And especially an athlete who works so hard for you in the gym. This is the type that Jay says you want things to happen for them so that it pays off.
And now Amy Ferguson, who missed the Alabama meet with the flu, she's back to full strength, they hope.
Marissa King is out of the lineup. She had bruised her arch in workouts and was only able to do vault.
Every gymnast on this Florida team ends with a double pike last pass.
After opening for her a front double twist, high combination middle pass. Good difficulty.
Now watch this front double twist. She actually crosses her legs in the air.
Was a little bit short on the rotation. Didn't quite get it around.
The last pass is strong though. Nice and aggressive, good lift off the floor.
Back to the beam for Georgia, where Noelle Couch led things off with a 9.775. Here's Lindsay Cheek.
And Suzanne, when we saw Lindsay first compete, she did so in the all-around against Auburn and just came on so strong, had a fantastic competition.
This is actually one of her favorite events. She just says she loves competing on balance beam.
At that point against Auburn, she hadn't even started school yet, really hadn't gotten into the rhythm and really to transition into collegiate lifestyle while you're training, going to school, competing every weekend.
I'm going to say we call her a freshman, but she's just barely a freshman. Finished high school early, came to Georgia, wasn't allowed to compete until the second semester.
She's actually 17 years old. And Coach Jay Clark said that she is a little bit tired right now, that this competing week after week is catching up to her a bit.
Coming up big here. Nice this dismount. I happen to think she likes television cameras. She does well when we're here.
She does. She loves to compete at home as well. Everyone loves to compete at home.
Close to home. Grew up by Watkinsville, Georgia.
Good for her.
Back over to Florida. Amy Ferguson had a 9.85 on her floor routine. Now Randy Stegerberg.
Randy is doing much better this season. Last year, really had to recover from a difficult injury, a dislocated shoulder. She was a 2008 Olympic trials qualifier and an amazing tumbler.
She has really improved her difficulty this year, and she just seems to have so much more confidence out there this year. So athletic. You really can see it on this event.
You can also see what Rhonda's really working toward on this event, the combination of great difficulty in the routine and polish and choreography on the dance side and the artistic side.
Georgia trying to get back in this meet with #1 ranked Florida. Will return to Stegman Coliseum in a moment. Miranda Smith up next for Florida. And earlier 9-9 on the vault. They had 3 straight Gators go 9-9 on vault early in the meet.
And she is so much of a spark plug for this team. So much energy, enthusiasm, just excitement that she brings to the team. What a great career this young lady is having. Now an extended career, granted a 6th year of eligibility. She started her collegiate career at UCLA. 2 meets into the season, she had a fracture that then needed surgery and a rod put in her leg. She thought it was over then. But they granted her this 6 year. Yes. It's really exciting for her.
Only one Florida's ever had. Back now for Georgia, Hillary Morrow, who's following Krista Tanella's 9.775 on the beam.
Certainly enjoyed watching this gymnast throughout her collegiate career. Always such a tough competitor.
She actually moved away from home in Boston to go to Cincinnati to be coached by Mary Lee Tracy.
And that gym's produced a lot of gym dogs, hasn't it?
A lot, yes. They go way back. Hillary's family actually moved to Lawrenceville, Georgia, just down the road last year, so they could be close to Hillary and be able to attend all of the gym dog meets.
Morrow, first team All-SEC.
This is a very solid routine for Hill. She just had a little wobble on the flight at the beginning, but other than that, she's been spot on.
Know what's going through her mind right now. Stick, stick, stick. Spot. There it is.
I hope what was going through her mind was direction, 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 and then stick.
She recovered well from this. She definitely could have given up more, and she fought to keep it. And of course, as you said, direction, direction, now stick.
She's had a lot of trouble with that dismount in practice, so it's good to see her be able to find a landing.
Mackenzie Kaquato will be up next for Florida following Miranda Smith's 9-9 on the floor. That's the highest score we've seen so far today.
Kathy, what's unbelievable with this Florida team is that they have different girls stepping up and winning the all-around every single week. McKenzie won it last week. Dickerson's won it. Johnson's won it.
They've done a really nice job easing her into the lineup. She had to rest an injury, a stress injury to her knee, and each week they've added a different event. And she has somebody who's really embraced collegiate gymnastics. She's figuring it out.
Georgia and Florida doesn't get any better. Shayla Worley up next for Georgia following Morrow's 9-9 on the beam.
Well, we saw a big score on the uneven bar. She is capable of a big one here as well. Very lovely on this event. Nice flexibility, originality.
She's number 4 in the nation on the beam.
This first combination she does is just so difficult. 3 skills together. The anoti, the twiddle, and the sheep jump, all in a row. Tough.
I think so many people, Suzanne, think you have to flip to actually do something that's difficult on balance beam. There are so many levels and areas of difficulty on balance beam that are deceiving.
She has a great balance of flexibility and accurate skills. I am very impressed with how Georgia's coming back strong after the problems on the first 2 girls on bars.
She's very organic on this event. She has an uncanny way of making tiny, teeny little corrections when you feel slightly off center, and she just pulls it on with a very elegant move of the arm, of the torso. Lovely presentation. Oh, gosh.
Oh, that's
her
too
feet
bad.
missed. That is really too bad. Her feet were up. She was off to the side. Her feet weren't on squarely.
Yeah, that's what happens when you start twisting too early and you don't set the layout first.
Yeah, she went
She's
around
thinking
to the
about turning.
side.
Yep, around the side. You can't get that good punch.
Oh, that's too bad. She really tried to pull it around. You see from that angle, those feet just slide off the edge of the beam. You can't get anything off of it.
Well, next up for Florida, Elena Johnson, who's following 2 straight 9-9s by Miranda Smith and Mackenzie Kikwado.
Up next for Florida, on 4 exercise, Elena Johnson.
And you notice that 4-inch mat out there for Elena Johnson right here. She likes that landing, protects those ankles like you said earlier on vaulting, and you're allowed to use that 4-inch mat on floor exercise. But you have to draw the white chalk marks to show the corners.
7th in the nation in this event.
That was gorgeous. She knew exactly where she was in the air.
Wow, look at those finishes on those last pass. They really do look like they're postseason ready.
Talk about the landings on this event.
Elena Johnson.
I love the combination of strengths that she has. Her tumbling, the technique. Look how she drops this right in.
And here she is in her last pass, a double pike. Like all the Gators, finishing strong, stuck landing both feet together. She never had to lunge out of it. It was perfect.
Cassidy McComb up next for Georgia, following Shayla Worley's 9.725. So she's got some work to do to pick Georgia up.
Well, this is when you want a veteran on the balance beam, coming off of a fall previous routine.
Her season high on this event is a 9.9.
It's nice to see her move with such confidence.
Yes, the little traditional moonwalk by a Georgia gymnast.
Someone's got to do it, right?
That's right. Someone has to do it. They sort of hand it
no.
down. Oh, she fought, though. Good fight.
It's that delicate balance between not getting ahead of yourself, but also attacking a landing while you're still in the air. You really have to zero in on that and be aggressive when you go for the landing without rushing it.
Well, no matter what anyone says, this is a big pressure meet, and both teams want to win it.
Handled the pressure pretty well. Had
She
that
did.
one bobble in the middle, and you could see it in her face. It's like, gosh darn, I wish I'd gotten that. Right here, front somersault. Just could not quite keep her hips. Everything square and lined up with the beam. Little offside to the side, but boy, she fought for that landing.
And last on the floor for Florida, Ajane Dickerson, who's following a 9.9 by Smith, a 9.9 by Kikwado, and a 9.925 by Elena Johnson.
For the University of Florida, up next on 4 exercise.
You can really see Ajane focusing, closes her eyes, concentrates, but then tries to take all that bottled up power that she has, because it's going to be very explosive.
Tied for first in the nation in this event.
if there's any question of whether she stuck that or not, she made sure the judges could tell. Perfect landing so far. What about this one? She had to lunge out on that, but still a nice landing. Just a little exciting.
What a way to end this rotation for Florida.
This very reserved, quiet, shy gymnast. Combine that with the explosiveness of her tumbling.
So we'll be back with the fourth rotation. Florida will move to the beam. Georgia will be on the floor. This is SEC Gymnastics on ESPN. We are finished with 3 rotations. And Georgia, which came into this meet ranked number 2 in the nation in beam, probably not very happy, led by a 9-9 of Morrow and a 9-8 by McComb to end it. For Florida, a very good floor exercise, as they had 9-9, 9-9, 9-9-2-5, and Dickerson with 9-9-5. Florida extends its lead after the 3rd rotation. Let's join now Suzanne Yocklin, who's standing by with Georgia head coach Jay Clark.
Thank you, Sam. Jay, it wasn't the complete meet you were looking for, but the team's been fighting. What did you say to them in the huddle?
Well, I told them to keep fighting. I told them we've got to go to floor and force them to hit beam. We know that we haven't given them our best shot today so far, but the meet's not over yet, and stranger things have happened. They've got to come hit beam, and we go to floor, and we just need to. We have nothing to lose at this point. Get over there and compete floor, lights out.
Well, Georgia's got a lot of work to do here in this final rotation. And first up for Florida, Elizabeth Malish.
And this is a good test for Florida. They talk about wanting to compete through, even though they have a lead. It's balance beam for 1. 2, they need to compete as if they're in a national championship and hit, be aggressive, go after big scores.
Malish, a junior, she was 2nd team All-American on the beam her freshman year.
This is one of the few places where there's some strategy involved, composition of routines, where to put in the difficulty and how much to do and whether or not to do extra. And there's a strategy involved in this. Coach Rhonda Fain is definitely, you can tell in the composition of the routines that she's just putting in what they need to have a 10-0 start value, not a lot of extra, and focusing on the execution of those skills.
Nice dismount combination, aerial cartwheel into the back of the full.
And you can see that's a perfect example of the strategy. That was a rather short routine, but it had everything it needed in it.
Combining 2 somewhat simple skills, but together they're unique. A little bit off to the side, but she stuck it, didn't move.
And now for Georgia, Krista Tonella will lead the Gym Dogs off on floor.
She is supposed to be doing an upgrade in the middle tumbling pass in this routine and doing a Rudy instead of just a plain layout, doing a 1.5 twist. We'll see if Coach Clark leaves that in the routine or not. It's in the 2nd pass.
There's so much in that routine choreographically. I see a Courtney McCool influence. You said she does come in and work with the athletes?
Absolutely. Absolutely. She has been working with Russell Warfield, the choreographer, and putting a lot of final touches on the routines.
Stegeberg up now for Florida following Malish's 9.85 on the beam.
Next from the University of Florida is Randy Stegeberg.
Stegeberg just moved into the lineup for the Alabama meet after Ferguson pulled out because of the flu.
Again, this is what Coach Rhonda Fain wants, them to be prepared, ready to step in at any given moment on these events into the lineup. But as you mentioned, Suzanne, it's remarkable that she really has a very set lineup.
She does. They have exact positions. They know who's first, second, third, and they've got a rhythm going, and you can tell that they're very confident with it. Georgia would obviously like to have set lineups too, but because of injuries, they've been unable to do that.
Which is why Jay says, I believe we're doing really well with what we have. You have to deal with what you have in terms of injury and things you have to work around. Lack of training time, just not getting the numbers in. And on an event like balance beam, you need the numbers for the consistency.
You're going to see on Randy here another combination into her dismount. It's rather easy, but she's able to stick it usually. She just does a full twist dismount in combination, but she can stick it.
Three elements, back handspring, layout, step out, right into the dismount. A little bit low, you can see her head's down below the level of the beam. If she can lift it up, you'll take what is a simple dismount, but in combination, much more unique and more difficult.
Noelle Couch following Krista Tanella's 9.825.
Noelle is actually the most consistent gymnast on floor for Georgia and has the highest average on the team on this event. I like how Russell Warfield picks music to fit their personalities. They're all different.
My knees sort of hurt.
I don't think her knees touched, though, and that's the deduction for your knees touching, so she saved it.
I think we're seeing both physically the wear and tear of competing the all-around, meet after meet, and then the pressure.
Georgia and Florida will continue here in the final rotation in a moment. Elena Johnson is up next on the beam for Florida. Stegeberg had a 9.875 preceding Johnson.
Florida has a very solid beam rotation going thus far. Elena is so pretty on this event. Nice flexibility, poise.
Another one of these talented freshmen making an immediate impact.
Acrobatic series there. Good landing.
You know you got to be good when your mayor declares your town Elena Johnson Day, which Tyler, Texas mayor did after she earned a spot in the U.S. Olympic trials. It's a big honor.
And a big accomplishment.
She is by far one of the most impressive freshmen in the country right now. And getting back to that strategy on beam, this athlete can do a double back off beam, as all elites can, but as you well know, Kathy, sometimes that's not the best dismount. And Coach Fain had her learn a back 1.5 as a dismount when she came to Florida. A lot easier, but one that hopefully Elena can stick.
Here it is. And she did.
And there's the strategy right there. Go for the score. Do the difficulty on floor.
Well, when you can get the athletes on board, it helps, especially, say, in college, this is what scores.
Right. And they can do the difficulty on the floor exercise, but on beam, you got to go for the thing with the skills with the least deductions.
Well, Gina Nuccio following Couch's 9.050. So Georgia needs a good routine here.
It's been several meets since she's performed on the floor exercise. She rolled her ankle in a warm-up prior to a competition and has been out of the lineup.
Well, she had to come through on bars after a fall. Let's see if she can come through on floor. She told us earlier today, Kathy, that she doesn't have an opportunity to practice very much because of all her injuries, back problems, ankle problems, but muscle memory just works for her.
Support from her teammates for this last pass.
That may be one of the best routines I've seen this athlete do. This double Arabian that she opens her routine with is the skill that she can't practice very often, but she's been doing it for so many years.
And as you said, muscle memory, it's a very good thing. Strong performance for being out of this floor exercise lineup for a while.
Mackenzie Caquato up next on the beam for Florida following Johnson's 9.875. Caquato won the balance beam in the Alabama meet, Florida's last meet.
The nice thing for some of these athletes who are used to international competition and the pressure, and trust me, the pressure is immense. Competing at the World Championships, all scores count. There are no scores dropped in the team final, so it's a tremendous amount of pressure. You get to share that load, share that pressure with your teammates, especially in college. They have each other's back. They know that.
She was one of only 3 gymnasts in NCAA Division I that competed at the World Championships.
She told us that Coach Fain says to her before she goes, okay, hit that second routine. And we were like, what's the second routine? She goes, it's the second one in practice. That's the pressure set. First one you warm up, the second one's the one that counts.
It's all about handling the pressure, coming down to it when it matters, just like that.
Wow, that was solid all the way through. Another round off double full dismount. You see a lot of these, but she does it well. Ankles and knees tight together, square all the way around.
Now the #1 team in the nation, the Florida Gators, they are loaded with talent. Very deep squad. And now Georgia's Shayla Worley following Nuccio's 9.85 on floor.
Shayla can be lovely on this event.
Jay Clark says this is his favorite collegiate gymnastics floor exercise routine he has ever seen. That's saying a lot. Not sure what happened there. She usually does a Rudy, 1.5 twist in that second pass.
Suzanne, she did not perform a high level of difficulty in her tumbling. I'm not sure exactly what was planned, what was not, but she performed this routine. The dance is...
Oh, it is absolutely a gorgeous routine, but doing a front layout in the middle, and ending with an easier last pass, that will hurt her score.
Georgia trying to pull off the upset of the #1 team in the nation, running out of time. We'll be right back. Ajane Dickerson up next for the University of Florida, following Kaquato's 9.875 on beam.
This is a gymnast with ice water in her veins. Even as a freshman, she could compete so well, so confidently.
SEC Freshman of the Year last year, and already 3 all-around titles this season.
She was so stiff on this event last year. I feel like she's really gained some confidence, and you can see that in her performance, particularly on balance beam.
You can see the strong will that she has. And she attacks the landings, the dismounts. Goes for no deductions if possible, and a harder dismount, a tuck double back, one of the more difficult dismounts in the competition. Nice to see. Watch how she just zeroes in on this landing. No movement. Oh, a slight little movement. Harder dismount, tuck double back.
Now Cassidy McComb for Georgia, following Worley's 9.6.
He definitely hit Shayla Worley on difficulty.
I think Shayla was supposed to be doing a 2.5 twist at the end of her floor routine, and for some reason took it out. You saw Coach Clark talking to her about it afterwards.
She had a 9.950 on this event earlier this season.
to feel just great. She missed this event in the last competition. What a great feeling this is.
She nailed every routine. She's had a great night tonight. She's hit all 4 of her events.
There's nothing like it. This is the leadership she wants to provide.
And now Alicia Goodwin following Dickerson's 9-9 final performer of the night for Florida.
And Alicia is stepping into the lineup here for Marissa King, who, remember, bruised her arch on this event, just kind of landed on the edge of the balance beam during workouts last week. Still a little tender. How great that you can have, fight.
Interesting decision by Rhonda to put Alicia in the last position. I guess she didn't want to affect the momentum of the rest of the team. That beam lineup, first 1 through 5 today, has been the same all year, and she wanted to keep that order the same, and so put Alicia in the end.
Goodwin's a Scholastic All-American sports management major.
I'm sure you know me well enough by now, Suzanne, but I'm zeroing in those beautiful toes, legs, straight extension.
I'm a toe fanatic too. There's nothing worse than flexed feet on the balance beam. They're beautiful.
Should be bonus points. Lovely routine. Unfortunately, it'll be a sizable deduction on the acrobatic series.
Alicia Goodwin for Florida.
Even when she's losing her balance, though, look how elegant she is. She's losing it, but toes are pointed and pulls it back on.
What a beam rotation for Florida. Wow.
And the final performer of the night for Georgia, Hillary Morrow, following Cassidy McComb's 9-9 on this event.
Now, she's had a sore Achilles tendon. They've been resting for several meets. They've kept her out of floor exercise.
She's been out for 3 weeks.
This is different for her. Running front, double front. Not doing the Arabian, which they feel really torques that Achilles tendon. It wasn't quite the complete meet that Jay wanted and hoped for, but he's got to be happy with the response that many of his athletes had after a mistake. It's how you respond to that, how you come back and then attack and go after what you can do, what is in your control. And a much better job by Georgia doing that in this competition.
So Hillary Morrow ends the competition for the University of Georgia. Georgia looking to the future, hoping to build some momentum heading toward the end of the season. Will not be pulling off the upset today. Florida puts up the highest score in NCAA gymnastics of the season so far, 197.725 to Georgia's 196.600. Let's go down now to Suzanne Yocklin.
Thanks, Sam. Rhonda, incredible night.
Yeah.
Highest score in the country. You just keep getting better and better. How did it feel?
It was so exciting, especially with last-minute changes with Marissa out for the bruised arch. Everyone stepped up, and that's what they teach them to be a leader every single day.
Well, because of the national ranking system, everybody in the country knows how well Florida has been doing. But most of those meets have been at home with friendly surroundings. They needed to go on the road, compete well, and more important, show they can get the same results on the road.
So our final score, Florida 197.725 to Georgia's 196.600. For Kathy Johnson-Clark and Suzanne Youngman, I'm Sam Gore saying goodbye from Athens. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.